Alright, so we're on this little monk right now. Item level is 138. It's not great. It's not even heroic eligible for the group fighter, but we're gonna head into Torghast. Torghast. I always say that wrong. I always think of the Thunder God. Anyways, I did the quest where it basically teaches us how all of this works, and we're going to climb the very first floor ever after the initial quest. That's a great anima power to get right in the beginning, that with every more rand we kill, we get 2% extra health. Pretty sure there's a cap on that, I just didn't read it. So I have to say, compared to the horrific visions, this has actually been a lot of fun. I mean, not that the visions weren't fun. But this one has been more fun, at least on the paladin. Like, let's see how it goes on the monk. I think my survivability is a bit more questionable on the monk. Can I unlock this map somehow as well? Not sure. Maybe I'm hiding the interface behind something. Oh well, we'll leave it on there. And come here, tasty more rats. So the great thing is, in bigger mob groups, the monk has a lot of sustain through every kill, basically, because it, or the little health balls that it drops, which is super convenient. As you can see, we're up 8% health because we killed a bunch of rats, which is amazing. Like a bomb. So these little skeletons can be quite dangerous, especially in combination with other mobs, because they give me a debuff that increases my physical damage taken. A stacking debuff, so 20%, 40, 60. Which is a bit inconvenient, I'm not going to lie. Also, I've just finished rebinding a lot of my keys, because believe it or not, you actually get more keys in Shadowlands. Purely based on that more abilities are available to a class independent of specialization. Oh, by the way, these little souls free give me a buff that increases my agility, intellect, and strength by 1% for each soul I free, so that's definitely an upgrade. Worth picking up. Yeah, otherwise, on the Paladin is 166, 167 item level, and I could clear the 3rd floor. It's the 2nd week. So I'm quite happy with the difficulty level, I would say. Leg sweep, reduce cooldown. I'm gonna take, even though that's a common one. When it comes to how rare they are, but the leg sweep is so important for the monk when you have big groups, because there's virtually no immunity compared to the paladin. I can always say like, oh yeah, this I've messed this one up, I'm gonna bubble, but on the monk I don't have the same luxury. So here it is actually pretty important that I'm able to stun large groups before they do too much damage, or apply a lot of debuffs or anything like that. Well, I mean, I didn't have to use the leg sweep there, but what are the cooldowns for, if not using them? So the reason why I kind of kill everything is because most of these mobs let me loot Phantasma, or if not even all of them. I think the Mole Rats don't drop any. Ooh, careful trap. Which means I can go to the vendor and buy a bunch of things. Such as anima powers. Some of them I can buy like straight up, and some of them are kind of like, oh yeah, get a random one, see what you get, you know, like just trust in your loot luck, I guess. The AoE damage is great on the monk. I love polling groups when it then just goes right, which obviously isn't always the case, I have to say. So, okay. Increases the damage of your next kick smash or Fist of Fury. Yeah, well, I think we're gonna go with the chance for extra damage. Anyone else, but it's just really infuriating to see that in only in tiny. Okay, off to floor 2. So the irritating thing about the Mole Rats is if you don't kill them quick enough, they will run away, but they will keep you in combat. So in that way, it's very much like a dungeon or like the Visions. There's no getting rid of aggro unless you have like Vanish or something like that. So you can't outrun the fights. If you have a mechanic that lets you disengage, that will work, but generally you cannot get away from a fight. It's a very satisfying sound. It's like stepping into like a bucket of water or something like that when you pick up the healing balls. Oh, this one had an anima ball. Nice. Plus 6% damage and healing. Thank you. So that's the way upstairs, I think. Gonna clear the rest of the room before we go there to pick up as many buffs as we can. I'm actually quite pleased with not having a timer on these dungeons, even though, I mean, with the visions, I was always asking myself, like, oh, is there anything I can do better? Is there anything do to preserve more sanity? Except for always things like, you know, don't stand in the fire, right? But these ones are actually quite relaxing because you kind of know what you're going to do. And I haven't been in a situation where I was like, oh, I can't possibly do this, or didn't really need to ask for much help. Which is nice. That makes it a bit more of a easily soloable experience. And I know that I've helped some of my guildies with the horrific visions in Battle for Azeroth. Because there were so many specific things and so many ways, not to cheat, but to basically pull smartly, time your cooldowns, all that kind of stuff, and then still move as quickly as possible. Knowing the exact right routes, which packs to skip, and stuff like that. So I think this is a lot more easygoing, which I like, because then there's not that much stuff that is basically. Like, you don't need to watch 3 YouTube videos in order to, like, understand this in the first place. Which I quite like. I think we have plenty of that in the raid content and in the mythic dungeons. So I think that will not be too bad. Now, by the way, I can execute the floor boss. That's great. Bottled Enigma. Targets increased by 50%, and in the first fight. Yes, I totally want that. I really want that for the boss fight, actually, or for the last floor. So floor 3 is not really a floor with enemies. It's just a floor for buffs, so you can get some souls. I have like additional 56% health, plus 7% on the primary stats or the offensive stats. It's a big anima ball flying around, which we'll pick up first. Movement speed, that's actually nice. Additional fireball chance. Immediately heal to full health. So this is a what do you call those? Extra life, basically. Okay, what do you have for sale? So this guy sells like these anima cells, which basically spawn another anima ball. I'm going to get 15% more health, because that's going to let my execute skill kick in a lot quicker. By another 50%, I could do that. Spinning crane cake. Phantasma. I mean, maybe. We can buy one of these. That's fine. And then we're going to save the rest for later, because who knows what the next vendor has. There was going to be one on floor number 6 as well. Have their casting speed reduced. Ah, that's nice. So if I stand close to a caster, they're going to cast slower. That's good. I like that. Okay, so I always get... Well, I won't say bored. I always get... in a bit of a, like, okay, let's get these floors over with for 4 and 5, because they have a lot of trash, depending on... Oh, there we go, there's my tiger. Depending on which kind of wing you get into, they have some insane traps that actually do tons of damage. So I'm not... These are not my favorite. I'd say my favorite is definitely the final boss floor. Not only because obviously the big guy drops the loot, but because there's a fight where you need to pay attention, and a fight that actually lasts a bit longer than all these random trash packs. Still stacking up on more rats, almost at 60% extra health.
I am out of range.
So this one, Indigo, is one of the little Fey people, and they're one of the random NPCs that are in the dungeons, or basically in the prison, which would like your help. So sometimes you have to find an item for them, sometimes you have to find another NPC. It's always like, hey, can you help me out? And you can basically let them off the hook and say, yeah, sure, I'll help you out. And then for the duration, like the solution to their problem, or the end of their quest is always on the same floor. So basically you need to keep your eyes peeled for some quest icons on the minimap, or some stuff that's laying around on the floor. And when you hand that in, first of all, they'll disappear. So if you have any groups that you want to do with a bit of help, you should keep them around and then go back to... Well, apparently I did that right. Keep them around, wait with handing in that quest. Oh wait, what does this button do? There we go. There's an extra mob, so technically I can already see the quest icon for Pentia on the minimap, and I can go hand in her thing, I guess. But I'm gonna wait with doing that until we've actually defeated everybody in here. To basically have her help me in combat as much as even possible. Okay, more rats now explode. That's exciting as well. We like that. Everyone likes that. Let's get this lonely guy over here. I'll have to say the extra health with the big Touch of Death execute button is a really nice combo for the monk. Right, so all these little buckets on the side. Oh, I forgot an anima ball over here. Let me pick that up. Become able to see which enemies are carrying plundered anima. Nice, but not necessarily as nice as extra damage. So I'm gonna go with the extra damage one. And there is the other Fae that we're supposed to find for our little Fae buddy. Loving the look with the dismembered decor here. So this one actually didn't have anything valuable except for the Phantasma, but you never know. Like without the extra buff, you don't really know what they have. So it's usually worth just killing everything, especially the first weeks when you're not in a rush, or not like when your rate isn't waiting for you to get the hell done. I think it's worth just killing everything, figuring out how all of this works. I think having your finger on the interrupt button, obviously we know that from the visions or from general content, but it's it feels like a real advantage to remember the interrupts. Because they, like some of the mobs in here, they buff themselves pretty significantly when you let a spell go through. Okay, more rats explode even more now. That's great. I love how half of the anima cells I got in this run are basically more rat related. Not entirely sure what happened to these guys. Apparently I freed them because of something I did. Cooldowns are reduced. That sounds awesome. Reduce also reduces damage. Well, I think I'm gonna go for the cooldown reduction. Holy shit, guys! You're really helping out, huh? That's awesome. That was great. I should really remember to really check out everything. Like these guys just like seem to spawn out of nowhere. I just don't understand why I get them, but that's awesome. I love you. That's good. Thanks for like basically doing all my work here. The only inconvenient thing about the two nerds I picked up is that they just start fights on their own. So they might let one of the trash mobs buff itself when I'm not around to counter the spell or something. But, you know, that's fine. It's fine. It's still good. Also, I'm not sure if they die or something like that. I'm also just walking into all the corners because some of the rare enemies or named enemies I've found were actually kind of hidden away in these places, and they only became visible when I came close. So I'm just checking every corner. I think the dudes are still going at it. Okay, here we go. You can use the tiger because that cooldown will reset as soon as we go through the floor thing. Oh wait, I can execute already. There we go. Perfect. Roll has one charge. Fine, I'll get the heal. Let's see if we need the heal. Oh, I forgot a chest. I just saw on the map. So the last floor is basically only the final boss fight room, which awards the Soul Ash, and has a vendor. So in my experience, maybe I did it wrong, but I could only swap gear and change my specialization the first time, because I was like, ooh, that boss deals a lot of melee damage, I better switch to tank, but then I couldn't after I initially started the fight. So what does this one do? Damage increased by 50% and strikes an additional 2 targets. I probably don't need this unless this guy calls ads. Touch of Death cooldown reduced. Probably don't need that because I can just wait. Extra 6% damage. Yes, so you can also buy extra lives in here, which is great. You can see I have 5 lives here right now because I already have one of the permanent upgrades, but you really don't need them. When I attack a new creature, that's great as well. But I think I'm just going to go for the random ones and get 2 of those. Technically everything I don't spend is wasted because... Okay, that's not very useful. Everything I don't spend of the Phantasma is wasted because it gets destroyed as soon as you leave Torghast. So I can only recommend spend all the Phantasma because there's no point in saving it. So now would be a great time for the heal, right? There we go. So he's at 150k. As soon as he goes to... Oh, shit. Oh, I can actually stun them. Yeah, I always forget that. Even though they're kind of boss enemies, I can still stun them, which is very convenient. Okay, getting close to the execute button here. But yeah, on the Paladin, I was way more relaxed, I have to say. That was it. Got the key for the first quest that leads us into regular Torghast, not in the like basically the tutorial you're sent through. And yeah, that's it. If you enjoyed this video, obviously if you wanna see more of the cute looking monk, hit the subscribe button.